My younger brother stood in front of my entire family at Thanksgiving dinner and said, "Let's be honest, Ashley's never going to make it. She's been stuck in the same dead-end job for years while the rest of us are actually building careers." Everyone went quiet. My parents looked uncomfortable. My sister stared at her plate. And I sat there, humiliated, while my brother smirked like he'd just won something. 3 weeks later, I walked into that same dining room and handed him an envelope. "Open it," I said. He opened it. His face went white. And what was inside destroyed every lie he'd ever told about me. My name is Ashley Carter, and I'm 30 years old. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and for the past 7 years, I've worked at a mid-sized tech company called Vertex Systems. I started as a junior analyst right out of college and slowly worked my way up. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't fast. But it was mine. My younger brother, Ethan, is 27. He's always been the golden child. Charismatic. Confident. The kind of person who walks into a room and immediately becomes the center of attention. He went to a prestigious business school, landed a job at a consulting firm right after graduation, and has spent the last 5 years telling everyone how successful he is. My parents adore him. They brag about him to their friends. They frame his accomplishments like trophies. And me? I'm the older sister who tries hard but never quite makes it. That's how Ethan described me once. To my face. At a family dinner. "You're a hard worker, Ashley," he said, his tone dripping with false sympathy. But hard work doesn't always equal success. Some people just aren't cut out for leadership. I didn't respond. I just swallowed the humiliation and kept eating. Because that's what I always did. I stayed quiet. I didn't make waves. I let Ethan talk down to me, belittle my career, and act like he was superior in every way. And the worst part? My parents let him. They never corrected him. They never defended me. They just nodded along, like everything he said was true. "Ethan's doing so well at his firm," my mom would say. "He's on track to make partner." "Ashley's doing fine too," my dad would add, almost as an afterthought. "She's steady." Steady. That was the word they used. Like I was a reliable car that got you from point A to point B but would never win any races. It hurt. But I kept going. Because I believed in what I was doing. I believed in my work. And I knew deep down that one day I'd prove them all wrong. That opportunity came 6 months ago. My company announced they were restructuring. They were creating a new senior leadership role, Vice President of Strategy and Operations. It was a huge position. High visibility. High responsibility. And it came with a salary that would more than double what I was making. When the job posting went up, I knew I had to apply. I'd been at the company for 7 years. I knew the systems. I knew the clients. I knew the work inside and out. But I also knew I wasn't the only one applying. There were at least a dozen other candidates. Some with more experience, some with fancier degrees, some with louder personalities. I didn't care. I applied anyway. The interview process was brutal. 3 rounds. Presentations. Case studies. Panel interviews with executives I'd only seen in company-wide meetings. I prepared for weeks. I stayed up late researching. I practiced my presentations until I could recite them in my sleep. I gave it everything I had. And then I waited. Weeks passed. I heard nothing. I started to think I hadn't gotten it. That someone else, someone more qualified, more polished, more leadership material, had beaten me. I tried not to let it get to me. But it was hard. Especially when Ethan kept making comments. Still waiting to hear about that promotion. He'd ask at family dinners, his tone mocking. "Yeah, I'd say." "Well, don't get your hopes up," he'd reply. Those kinds of positions usually go to people with a certain presence. No offense. No offense. As if adding those words made it okay to insult me. I wanted to scream at him. I wanted to tell him he had no idea what I was capable of. But I didn't. Because I didn't have proof yet. And without proof, my words meant nothing. Then, 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, I got the call. Ashley, this is Karen from HR. I'm calling to let you know that you've been selected for the Vice President of Strategy and Operations role. Congratulations. I almost dropped the phone. Are you serious? I asked. Completely serious, Karen said, laughing. You blew everyone away. The executive team was unanimous. You start in the new role in January, but we wanted to let you know now so you could prepare. I thanked her, hung up, and sat in stunned silence for 10 minutes. Then I cried. Not sad tears. Happy tears. Relieved tears. Tears that came from 7 years of hard work, doubt, and fighting to prove myself finally paying off. I wanted to tell my family immediately, but I didn't, because I had a better plan. Thanksgiving arrived. My entire family gathered at my parents' house, my mom, my dad, my sister Claire, her husband, and of course, Ethan. Dinner was the usual affair. My mom cooked too much food. My dad told the same stories he told every year. Claire talked about her kids. Ethan talked about himself. We just closed a major deal with a Fortune 500 company, Ethan said, grinning. My boss says I'm on the fast track to partner. Probably within the next 2 years. That's wonderful, honey, my mom said, beaming. Yeah, Ethan's really making a name for himself, my dad added. I sat quietly, pushing food around my plate. Then Ethan turned to me. What about you, Ashley? Still at the same company? Yeah, I said. Still doing the same thing? Pretty much. He shook his head, laughing. You know, I don't understand how you've stayed there so long. Don't you want more? I'm happy where I am, I said. Happy or settling? Ethan asked, his tone condescending. Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you've plateaued. My sister shot him a look. Ethan, don't. I'm just being honest, Ethan said. Ashley's been at that company for 7 years, and she's barely moved up. Meanwhile, I've been at my firm for 5, and I'm already being considered for partner. Everyone's career path is different, Claire said. Sure, Ethan said. But let's be real. Some people are built for leadership. And some people aren't. He looked directly at me when he said it. That's when something inside me snapped. What are you trying to say, Ethan? I asked, my voice calm but sharp. I'm saying you're a hard worker, he said. But hard work doesn't always equal success. You've hit your ceiling, Ashley. And that's okay. Not everyone can be a leader. The room went silent. My parents looked uncomfortable but said nothing. Claire looked furious. Ethan just sat there, smug, like he'd made some brilliant observation. I set my fork down. You think I've hit my ceiling? I think you've done the best you can with what you have, Ethan said. And that's admirable. But you're not going any higher. That's just the reality. I stared at him for a long moment. Then I stood up. I need some air, I said, and walked out of the dining room. I stood on the back porch, shaking with anger. Not just at Ethan, but at my parents for letting him talk to me that way. At myself for not fighting back sooner. But I wasn't going to fight back with words. I was going to fight back with proof. After Thanksgiving, I went home and made a decision. I wasn't going to tell my family about my promotion in a casual conversation. I was going to make sure they, especially Ethan, understood exactly what I'd accomplished. So I planned a family dinner at my parents' house 3 weeks later. I told them I had something important to share. What's the occasion? My mom asked. You'll see, I said. Ethan, of course, made a joke about it. What, did you finally get a raise? Something like that, I said. The day of the dinner arrived. I showed up with a folder in my hand. Inside was my official offer letter from Vertex Systems, complete with my new title, salary, and responsibilities. I sat through dinner, listening to Ethan talk about himself, waiting for the right moment. Then, after dessert, my dad asked, So, Ashley, what did you want to share? I pulled out the folder and handed it to Ethan. Read it, I said. He frowned. What is this? Just read it. Ethan opened the folder and pulled out the letter. His eyes scanned the page. And as he read, his expression changed. The smugness disappeared. His face went pale. His hands started shaking. "What does it say?" my mom asked. Ethan didn't respond. He just stared at the paper. "Ethan," my dad said. I leaned forward. "It says I've been promoted to Vice President of Strategy and Operations at Vertex Systems. It's a senior leadership role. My salary is now $230,000 a year, plus bonuses, plus equity." The room went silent. My mom's jaw dropped. My dad blinked, confused. Claire grinned. Ethan set the letter down slowly. This is real?" "Completely real," I said. "I start in January." "But you never said anything," my mom said. "I didn't want to say anything until it was official," I said. "And I wanted to wait for the right moment." I looked directly at Ethan. "You told me I'd hit my ceiling, that I wasn't built for leadership, that I was settling." Ethan opened his mouth, but no words came out. "But you were wrong," I said. "I wasn't stuck. I was building. I was learning. I was preparing. And now I'm a vice president at a company that values my work." I pulled out another document. "And for context, Ethan, your salary as a senior consultant, according to industry standards, is around $90,000 a year, right?" His face flushed red. "So while you've been spending the last 5 years bragging about how successful you are and putting me down, I've been quietly building a career that's now worth more than double what you make." The silence was deafening. My dad cleared his throat. "Ashley, I had no idea." "That's because you never asked," I said. My mom looked at Ethan, then at me. "Ashley, we're so proud of you. This is incredible." "Are you?" I asked. "Because for the past 7 years, you've acted like my career didn't matter. You've let Ethan talk down to me at every family gathering. You've never once asked me how my work was going or celebrated any of my accomplishments." "That's not fair," my dad said. "It's completely fair," I said. "You brag about Ethan constantly. You tell everyone how successful he is. But when it comes to me, you say I'm steady or figuring things out. Like I'm some kind of charity case." "We didn't mean it like that," my mom said. "Maybe not," I said. "But that's how it felt." Ethan finally spoke up. "Look, I didn't know you were going for this promotion. If I'd known." "You would have done what?" I interrupted. "Been supportive?" "You've never been supportive. You've spent years treating me like I'm less than you. Like my career is a joke." I was trying to be realistic," Ethan said weakly. "No," I said. "You were trying to make yourself feel superior. And the only way you could do that was by tearing me down." He didn't respond. I stood up. "I didn't come here to rub this in your face. I came here to set the record straight. I'm not stuck. I'm not settling. And I'm not less than you." I looked at my parents. "I hope you can be proud of me the way you're proud of Ethan. But if you can't, that's okay. Because I'm proud of myself." Then I grabbed my coat and left. I drove home in silence, my heart pounding, my hands shaking. Part of me felt vindicated, but another part felt sad. Because I'd spent years hoping my family would see me. And it took me becoming a vice president for them to finally pay attention. The next morning, I got a text from Claire. "That was the most badass thing I've ever seen. I'm so proud of you." Then my dad called. "Ashley, I owe you an apology. I didn't realize how much we'd been overlooking you. You're right. We let Ethan dominate every conversation. And we should have been celebrating you all along." "Thanks, Dad," I said quietly. "I mean it," he said. "You've worked so hard. And we took it for granted." My mom called later that day. She was crying. "I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I didn't see how much we were hurting you." "I know," I said. "But I need you to do better." "We will," she promised. Ethan didn't reach out. Not that day. Not that week. But 2 weeks later, he sent a text. "Can we talk?" I didn't respond immediately. I needed time to think. Finally, after a few days, I replied. "Sure." We met at a coffee shop near my parents' house. Ethan looked uncomfortable. Embarrassed. I'm sorry, he said as soon as I sat down. I didn't say anything. I just waited. I've been a terrible brother, he continued. I was jealous. I know that sounds insane, but it's true. Jealous of what? I asked. Of you, he said. You're smart. You're capable. You're respected at your company. And I felt like I had to compete with you. So I tore you down instead of supporting you. That doesn't make it okay, I said. I know, he said. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I just wanted you to know that I see it now. And I'm sorry. I took a sip of my coffee, processing his words. I appreciate the apology, I said finally. But it's going to take time for me to trust you again. I understand, Ethan said. I'll do whatever it takes. I nodded. Then start by treating me like an equal, not someone you need to compete with. I will, he said. We talked for another hour. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't a magical reconciliation. But it was a start. It's been 3 months since I started my new role as Vice President of Strategy and Operations. And it's everything I hoped it would be. I lead a team of 20 people. I work directly with the CEO. I'm involved in high-level strategy decisions that shape the future of the company. And I love it. My family has been more supportive than they've ever been. My parents ask about my work. They celebrate my wins. They've stopped comparing me to Ethan. And Ethan? He's been trying. He checks in on me. He asks how my new role is going. He's even started asking for career advice. It's strange, but it's progress. Last week, my company held a leadership summit. I was invited to give a keynote speech about navigating career growth. I stood on that stage in front of 200 people and told my story. I talked about the years of doubt, the years of being overlooked, the years of being told I'd never make it. And I talked about how I proved everyone wrong. After the speech, a young woman came up to me. She looked like she was in her mid-20s. Thank you, she said. I needed to hear that. I've been feeling stuck in my career. Like I'm not good enough. You're good enough, I said. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. She smiled. I won't. That moment reminded me why I fought so hard. Not just for myself, but for everyone who's ever been underestimated. A few days ago, I got an email from Ethan. It was short. I saw the video of your keynote. You were incredible. I'm really proud of you. I read it 3 times. Then I replied, thanks. That means a lot. It wasn't much, but it was genuine. And that's all I needed. If you're reading this and someone in your life has been telling you you're not good enough, whether it's a family member, a friend, a coworker, know this. They're wrong. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. But if you choose to, do it on your terms. Don't let anyone's doubt become your reality. For years, I let Ethan's words get inside my head. I let him make me feel small. I let him make me question my worth. But I kept working. I kept building. I kept believing in myself even when no one else did. And eventually, the truth came out. Not because I bragged. Not because I fought back with words. But because I let my work speak for itself. You can do the same. Keep showing up. Keep putting in the work. Keep believing that you're capable of more than people think. Because you are. And one day, when you finally reach that goal, when you finally achieve that thing everyone said you couldn't, you won't need to say a word. The results will speak for themselves. Today, I'm living the life I always wanted. I'm respected. I'm valued. I'm making a difference. And I'm no longer the person my brother said would never succeed. I'm the person who proved him wrong. And it feels incredible. If this story resonated with you, drop a comment below. Share your experiences. Tell me about a time you were underestimated and how you proved people wrong. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about standing up, fighting back, and taking control of your life. Because you deserve to be seen. You deserve to be celebrated. And you deserve to succeed. Looking back, I don't regret how I handled things. I could have told my family about my promotion in a quiet, humble way. I could have let it go and moved on. But I didn't. because I needed them to understand what they'd been doing to me for years. I needed Ethan to see that his words had consequences. That constantly belittling someone doesn't make you superior, it just makes you insecure. And I needed my parents to realize that ignoring one child's accomplishments while celebrating another's creates lasting damage. Did it make Thanksgiving dinner uncomfortable? Yes. Did it cause tension in my family? Absolutely. But it also forced everyone to see me. Really see me. And that was worth it. Ethan and I still have a long way to go. Our relationship isn't perfect. There are still moments of tension. Still moments where I can see the old competitiveness creeping back in. But we're trying. And that's more than I expected. My parents have been better. They ask about my work. They celebrate my achievements. They've stopped treating my career like an afterthought. And me? I'm finally free from the weight of constantly trying to prove myself to people who wouldn't see me. I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. And I don't need anyone's validation anymore. So to everyone out there who's been told they're not good enough, not smart enough, not capable enough, keep going. Your moment is coming. And when it does, it'll be worth every second of doubt you pushed through. Thanks for listening.